in a teacher's march. And so we agreed, after they signed their names to a petition, that we were going to march as a teacher group. And so on January 22nd, we met at Clark Elementary School here, which was the school where I attended the first grade through the sixth grade. We met upstairs, and we marched up a file. My partner was my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade science teacher. His name was Mr. A.J. Durgan. He was the incoming president of the Selma City Teachers Association. And we led that march, teachers, for the first time in the United States, coming down the steps of Clark Elementary School, down Lawn Street, down to Alabama Avenue, down to the courthouse. Teachers, for the first time. Getting down to the county courthouse, that was standing next to the steps, the superintendent of education, the chairman of the board of education, to persuade me, because I was a teacher, to take the teachers back to the school, because we had made a point, and that no longer should we try to pursue that right from that particular point. And I told them we had a right to be at the county courthouse. It was our courthouse. We were not backing down from our right to be there. And I asked the superintendent and the chairman of the board, who signed my check, to step aside. We went up those steps. Jim Clark had his deputies across the door, and he indicated that we were trying to make a mockery out of his courthouse. And we indicated to him that that was our courthouse also. He gave us 1 minute to move off of those steps. At the expiration of that minute, he took the billy club and jabbed us down the steps on the sidewalk. And my partner, Mr. A.J. Durgan, who, as I said, was my teacher, he was not quite used to that stuff like I was. And he asked me on the ground, he said, "What shall we do?" I said, "We are going back." He said, Yeah. And so we went back the second time. We jabbed down the steps after a minute, and he asked me the same question. I gave him the same answer, and he gave me the same response. The third time we went, I really was trying to get all the teachers arrested because teachers were not aware of the tremendous influence. They were the largest black professional group here in Dallas County. And so after going back the third time, he said, "If you don't go off these steps," Jim Clark said, "we're going to arrest you." I said to myself, exactly what I want you to do. And so after about 45 seconds, before that minute expired, someone on the inside of the courthouse came and pulled him on the inside of the courthouse door and said, I didn't go in there with him, but I can imagine what they told him. For goodness sake, don't arrest those teachers.
Right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on? Welcome to the Lineage Podcast. We appreciate y'all joining us on this Thankful Thursday. It's always a blessing and always an honor to be before you and discuss topics, hot topics, discuss how we can move our community forward, discuss a multitude of things. It's always great to be able to be here. So we thank God for being alive, and we thank everybody for continuously joining us and supporting us with all of our endeavors. And speaking of all our endeavors, you already know what time it is. If you don't have this book right here, let me show it. Selma Self-Sacrifice. I know it's blurred out a little bit. Please go get that. It's a great book. It's the autobiography of Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese, written by himself and Mrs. Kathy M. Walters. It's a great read. We were talking about it over the weekend. Me and brother, we had the honor of being part of a panel. Well, my brother's supposed to be part, but you know, anything we do sometime where he can sneak me in, I'm gonna roll with him. And when I sneak him in, he gonna roll with me. So that's just how we do things. So we'll talk about that a little later, about our discussions with that, and segue into our discussion for the day. And we know our discussion for the day can last 2 hours if need be.
I can't wait. You see this?
We know that, but we got to pay the bill. So listen, and if you haven't booked the tour, FD Reese Historical Tour, it is on Viator and TripAdvisor. go to your Google, go to the search bar, type in FD Reese Historical Tour, and you will see that picture pop up, that picture that's behind my brother. You'll see it pop up, click on it, and book the tour. We are adding new things to the tour. We're very excited. We have added people to our team. So they have gave us some insight and some advice on how we should do things. And, you know, me and my brother, we are never too high to take advice. We learned that from granddad on down, granddaddy, daddy, mama, all of us, the Reese family, and even our Dowell family. We are not above reproach.
That's right.
About anything. So that's how we do things. So we expand the tour. If you haven't booked that tour, please do it. If I say so myself, it's one of the greatest tours in Selma. Now that's just not my opinion. That's the opinion of others. So it's other tours that's going on in Selma. The Terry Chestnut tour. I think Joanne Bland is still doing a tour. I forgot the foot soldier name that's doing the tour for Brown Chapel. So get a part of all of them. And I promise you, if you come to Selma and you implement yourself in those different tools, man, you will definitely learn things that you didn't learn in school and things that you didn't hear.
And what about?
Please do that. Go ahead.
You know, we'll be at a library near you soon, huh?
We'll be at a library near you. We're working the logistics out. I think Clayton County, we will be in Clayton County in September. We will get that final word on Monday. And we will be in Ellenwood, DeKalb County in November. I think the either the first or second weekend in November. If Angel's online, she can update us on that and tell us what the weekend is. But yes, we're going on a quote unquote library tour. What we are doing, we have artifacts from the movement. We have letters from Dr. King to my grandfather and vice versa from grandfather Dr. King, Ralph Abernathy, Jose Williams. We have actual, me and my brother was looking through it over the weekend, and we was putting, of course, we always, anytime we look at these artifacts, we learn new things about the movement. So we kind of figured out, we put the pieces together, what happened in the Teachers March. It was two movements going on that day. If y'all want us to elaborate on that, we'll elaborate on that. But yes, we're going to different libraries, and we're doing it in Georgia.
Did you say library or library?
Libraries.
There you go. We got it.
Yeah, you got to get it. I'm glad Miss Fury ain't on here. We're going to different libraries, and we would display these artifacts. We would talk about grandfather, talk about the movement, things that you didn't know, that you haven't heard, and you will see the receipts and the evidence of the things that we are discussing and we are talking about. So we are excited about that. Anytime the tours is one of my favorite things to do. And this is always going to be okay. Appreciate it. Library tours coming soon. Thank you. Pro Jordan, what's up, fam? He on here. He running too. We'll get Pro Jordan back. We'll get Pro Jordan back on here. Anastasia, appreciate that. Second week of November, we will be DeKalb County, Ellen County Line Library in Ellenwood, Georgia, off River Road and God, what's that? River Road and Linecrest. We'll be there the same location we had the book bag drive. So yeah, libraries, that's right. So Ellenwood Library. So we'll be there in November. We Monday we will know if we'll be in Clayton County at the Battle Creek Library the first weekend in September, I think. So we'll keep y'all updated on that. Please come out and support all teachers, professors, students, pastors, whatever position you hold, politicians. If you run and come, if you're not running, come, whatever the case is. And if you just want to do something different on whatever days that we're doing it, man, please come out and support. But before we get into our discussion, y'all already know what time we got to do. We got First Nurse Kimberly Reese. First Nurse Kimberly Reese is doing what First Nurse Kimberly Reese do. She is at work right now doing First Nurse things. But y'all already know she left the Lineage family her health segment for the week. So we're going to play that. And when we come back, me and bro get in our discussion. We'll talk about what we did over the weekend and lead into our discussion. So y'all don't go nowhere. Here's First Nurse Kimberly Reese with her health topic for today. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, this is your first nurse Kimberly coming to give you a weekly dose of health information. Well parents, it is that time of year again. Summer break is over and most kids have gone back to school. The month of August is not only known for the month where most kids go back to school, but it is Awareness of Eye Health and Safety Month. Wakola.org website providing information concerning children's eye health and safety. If you have not done so already this summer, take this time of the kids going back to school as a reference point to complete all annual appointments such as eye exams and physical. Your child's sight can play an important role of your child's physical, mental, and social development. Be an advocate for your child's vision. Children's screening requirements are done by each state. Evidence shows that there's a direct correlation for kids who can see well that affects their grades and the outcome of their school year. So parents, go ahead and be an advocate and make those annual appointments so we can have a successful year. And let's put our best foot forward.
We appreciate that. First nurse Kimberly Reese dropping the jewels for us once again. Please, we take our, like she said, it's Children's Eye Health and Safety Awareness Month in the month of August, and it just so happens that this is the month that majority of the kids go back to school. So we love the kids. We have a soft heart for our kids. So everybody take heed to that information and please get serious about that. So we appreciate First Nurse Kimberly Reese for that once again. Back to the Lineage Podcast. I want to welcome everybody who's just coming in. Pro Joel, and I see you checking in. I'll make sure we tell First Nurse that you said what's up. But yeah, interesting weekend that we had over the weekend. We'll start now. I'll say this: when I was riding through Montgomery, didn't know that Black History event was going down, if I must say so myself, while I was riding through Montgomery. But we'll start off here. Me and my brother, we went to an event, about a 2-hour event. We had the honor of being in the presence of 8 foot. I'll bring the flyer up. This was the student. Let me take this down. It was students of the movement, the Voter Rights Movement Education Project. It was a free screening, started at 2 at Wallace. We was in the theater in Wallace Community College. Very nice theater, and we were there. Me, my brother, and President Miss Angel. We was there representing. And it was a great event. We had the honor of being in the presence of 8 of the foot soldiers who were students. They were the younger students participating in the movement. They were telling their events were happening on Bloody Sunday. Leading up to that, they were telling their own personal actions that they went through. Some of them got hit, some of them got beat. Some of them, I think one of them wasn't there, and they were saying the things that they were doing leading up to it. So it was and I'll say this, being a student of the nonviolent movement and studying that, I learned some myself. So I can only imagine the people that don't really deep dive into the voting rights and civil rights movement, how they would be shocked in what was displayed. And then after they did the screening of a documentary, we went and we ate some food, and they had a discussion. Now, my brother was originally supposed to be part of the panel, but they kind of switched things up, and both of us end up being a part of the discussion. And ironically, I'll let Bro tell what his take was on the when they asked about the method, the violent and non-violent method. I'll let you kind of talk about that.
Well, of course, respectfully, the students come from an era where non-violent was the leading way to handle things, and I understand why that mindset is present. And it was good because we actually got into a real good deep conversation, because now that you have Reverend Reese grandkids there that kind of sort of believe in both methods. We believe in non-violence, and we believe in protecting ourselves and sometimes getting a little violent and holding people accountable.
Correct.
And you can see the I'm not gonna say disagreement, but yeah, well, we could say disagreement in both age groups. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, some of the foot soldiers were very adamant about still taking the nonviolent approach. And I can understand why they feel that way. But in this generation, we feel like because they were submissive, we can stand tall. And that's my take from it, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just what I get from it.
Yeah, Sister Pastor Levon Thomas checking in. Got to shout out Sister Levon. We already know did our heart and rest in peace to the late great Bishop.
That's all you gotta say.
Thomas. His wife, they were married, I want to say 50 plus years.
Yeah.
I want to say that. Levon, they've known us since we were, I think I had just hit teenager, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Pastor Sister Extraordinaire Levon Thomas checking in. Honored to have you in here. Also, of course, Tristan coming in with his positive rhetoric, and he said peace is having the biggest stick. We're gonna get into that, Tristan.
To it, man.
This is just yeah, we're gonna get into that. But you're 100% right. When we were we were having the discussion, when you compared, you said the Martin method and the Malcolm X method, and when you said both of those methods are needed.
I got some smiles from a couple of the older groups too.
Right.
That's FD grandson, right?
Right.
But that's the truth, MJ.
Right.
And see, in this generation, it's time to merge all that mindset. And that's how I feel. And
Yeah,
that's the truth, because you know, we at that time coming out of the Emancipation Proclamation, going through the years of Reconstruction, we know what was done to portray Black people as villains. Remember, they sent the white folks to the shows, they showed the movies that Black men were gonna rape their daughters and wives, and we were villains, we were subpar humans, and all those things during that time. So you can understand why that when you look at Booker T. Washington, Will Du Bois, and they disagreements on how we should move forward. But you can understand why you see Black people move into society when you talk about integration in a submissive way.
right.
Even though, to me, it should have never happened that way, because we're all human.
Right.
But you can understand why that mindset was there, because all those years through Jim Crow, what was portrayed us on TV as a visual image.
Exactly.
Okay. So, but now we've been integrated for 60 years, MJ.
And we have been.
It's time out. And see, it's twofold, it's two separate entities in this. But I'm talking about the racist white male or female. Black folks don't need to be submissive. We're not taking you coming spitting in our face, hitting us and all that. No, we're gonna fight back.
Correct.
Because it's been enough time, y'all should see now. And one thing I loved about this Montgomery situation, them white folks deserve that.
They did.
They deserved every bit of what happened in Montgomery, Alabama. But now let's go deeper. I want to go deep in this, MJ.
Okay.
Now, all the stuff that happened out of George Floyd, they talk about Black people loot, this and that. Did Montgomery get looted?
Did not.
You saw Black people stand up strong, handle business, and they did not loot not one place in Montgomery. Now, even this, the business that the white folks own in Selma, who started it, it's not even looted. So I want these racist white folks who sit on TV and listen to Fox News and all these, sometimes CNN and all these different national news outlets, stop listening to that Black folks. Every time they don't like something, they go loot their neighborhoods. Because I saw young Black folks, I saw Poo Poo and Ray Ray with dreadlocks like me, locks. I saw older, successful Black men stand together and stand strong, and then nothing happened in the community. They whooped behind, and that was it.
That was it.
That was it. Now, what Black folks did in Selma, they hit the reviews of that market, that mini market in Selma. It started out with 4.8 stars. Now it got 1.9, trickling down. Now we're gonna go a little deep into that too. But I'm tired. I want this in the deep South, MJ.
That's right.
Montgomery, Alabama, the deep South. After that happened, you did not have any looting. Now, everybody who sit in their couches, all the white individuals who sit on their couches who are afraid of black people because you have been bamboozled to think black people don't know how to carry themselves, they did it the right way, MJ. Correct. They stood their ground. They whooped behind. They didn't loot. They went to jail. They got bailed out, and they going on about their business.
Going about their business. Checkmate. Now, Eddie Wilson said, "You are so right." And Anastasia said, "Both are necessary. There's a time and a place for both." We saw that this weekend in Montgomery. 100% right. Now, in case you were under a rock and you don't know what happened in Montgomery, I'll just show you a little bit of a visual. It started here. It kind of started before that. This individual in the white shirt, this black guy, was telling them to move their boat because a cruise or tour boat was coming in. They had to dock right there where these white individuals were docked. And so it got out of hand. It went back and forth for a minute. Then long story short, the Caucasian brother proceeded to put hands upon the black brother. Now the black brother, he threw his hat off and the hat ain't landed yet. We still don't know where that hat at because it was time to go down. But anyway, they started to proceed to jump him. And other individuals, another black guy came in and started to try to pull people off. And then it went on to side shows. And every time a white person jumped in, you saw 3 black people come out the side view and handle business. Now, this is where the chair epidemic came. This is only one picture of this guy here. That chair probably need to be in a black museum somewhere. He hit this person, and then he hit another lady with the chair a little later on. So this is what happened pretty much. And like my brother said, the owners of the boat they still are the owners. They are the owners of Vaser's Mini Mart in Selma, Alabama.
Dallas Avenue.
Off Dallas Avenue. So my people from Selma know where it is.
There not be a black person go in now.
Yeah, we'll need one. And you're 100% right. It's not looted. Ain't nobody vandalized it or nothing.
That's right. Where's the national news on that? We talking about Montgomery and the owners in Selma. Now, Selma and Montgomery, when you talk about the black struggle in America,
that's what they at.
That made a difference. What CNN and Fox said to show this story. Yeah, it's been on social media, but I want them to show that these places have not been looted. And this was nothing but black folks and white folks in this fight in the deep South, MJ.
Deep South.
So they need to come put some respect on our name and know we know how to carry ourselves. That stuff that happened in 2020, that stuff was done on purpose. Okay, so they need to come down there in Selma and in Montgomery, and that's show black folks. Black folks is on code. See, people don't realize
all the way.
You don't need a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X. You just need for black people to be on code.
Be on code.
And black folks on code right now. They stood up for each other. They fought back, and they're marketing Selma. They pulling their dollar, and they getting their reviews. There you go. That's
how you do it.
You know what I'm saying? And I saw something else in this, bro. This another thing that we need to look at. You have the white militia group. You notice they didn't come to their back. I didn't see no. We in Montgomery, MJ.
The Gump.
You didn't see no white men say they got to go get their ammo and their AKs and they got to go protect the race because that is not what's happening today. See, I tell people, and this what I didn't have an opportunity to finish what I want to say at the panel. But see, it's twofold. See, now where black people can stand their ground against racist white folks. See, but now we can't go to any one of these capitals around here and talking about we finna go overthrow the government. Then you'll see the malicious white man go bear arms and say they got to protect America.
Right.
Okay. See, black folks can't do that. We can't. That right there, you got to understand democracy and how it works, and you got to understand policy. But when it comes to these folks who just got racism in their heart and think they just gonna walk up to us and do anything to us,
Thanks.
well, what they're saying, you gonna F around and you're gonna find out. And they found out.
They found out.
And I'm glad the malicious white man stayed at home. Because he even looked at it and said, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, correct.
That don't make no sense. We not in 1960, 50, 40, 30. That don't make any sense. You can't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Jeff, your emojis clearly are on point, my brother. We know the swimmer. We need to put that guy on the little swim team or something.
That's right.
We need to put him on the swim team.
Cold, MJ.
Yeah, on cold all the way.
I'm proud of him. I don't care what people say. Now, man, look, you can't tell people who've been oppressed all this time that nonviolence is still the way in 2023.
Cannot.
When it comes to the racist white man in public, no, it needs to be. You do something like that, you need to get knocked out.
But see, bro, you know, and I hate, and I'm not gonna say I hate to say this, but how many years, especially you, I got to give you credit on this. Angel said still up and stuck, hat signaling the people. Yeah, you're 100%. That was the signal. That was like the bat call, Anastasia. But particularly you have been talking for years.
Years, MJ.
All of it is needed.
All of it.
See, I got to give you credit on you have been saying so in my opinion, the nonviolence is needed.
It is.
The Montgomery Brawl is needed.
It is.
The lobbyists, putting the money lobbyists is needed.
It is. See that they make us run from there. I tell people all day to be successful in this, what you call democracy in the American system. Marching alone just don't work. It's like when you think about a pizza, you have different slices. Voting is a big slice of a piece. Correct. But then they make us run away from lobbying. But you look at the LGBTQ community. They put their money where their mouth was. They went behind closed doors. They paid them lobbyists and they got what they need to get done. But when they bring lobbyists to black people for our agenda, it's like, no, don't do that. We put more money into the parties of the Democratic and the Republican parties than anyone else. But we get them done because we don't know how to make the deals behind the door.
That's right.
The deals are made. Then you got to show them. Then when you show your politicians that you're serious when stuff like this, you pull your dollar. You pull your dollar from the businesses in the community. You starve them. You don't loot the place and get it in, let them file an insurance claim and then pay it off and go buy another house and pay all their debt and they live for the rest of their life, you know, good and clear. No, you leave that building standing and you starve them out.
That's right. Now, I'm glad you mentioned that before we get that. Jamel checking in. What's up, family? How you doing? Good evening. Appreciate you joining us. John, 100% right. It was no looting at all. 100% right. Jeff Green, it's 2023, not 1923. You would catch these. You're 100% right. Catch these hands. It reminds you of the WWF when Stone Cold. John, 100% right. Eddie Wilson, they got a rude awakening, and black people are not going to take it anymore. 100%. I'm glad you brought up the dollar. I'm glad you brought that up because now I got a few pictures. Now check this out. Now we know three of them. Well, one turned itself in a little bit earlier. 3 suspects involved in Montgomery Brawl Saturday, and then police custody. Alan Todd, 23, Zachary Chase Shipman, 25, in the Montgomery Municipal Jail on one each count of misdemeanor, 3rd-degree assault charges in connection with the fist fight. Todd and Shipman turned themselves in the fight involved. Right, we know what happened. 3rd suspect, Richard Roberts, turned himself in on Tuesday. So we see they did turn themselves in. They are charged with misdemeanors. But I'm glad you brought up the dollar because I want to show a Facebook thread and we can kind of elaborate on that, on what happened, the aftermath of the business of the people that started it. Now I want you to see this. This was a screenshot that I took. They have deleted the page since then, but I want y'all to pay attention to the top comment there. It says, "I don't need you people's money. I prefer the superior white dollar."
Now, boy, LJ.
Go ahead, bro.
Now I'm gonna say this.
Uh-huh.
You know, I got a big mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna talk to the black folks because I know they ain't gonna show up. All them white folks in Selma who say you all about unity and you all about what's right and we move forward as a people and you don't see the color and all that. Let me see you go up in that store. The almighty white dollar, really. So I'm talking about the white folks in Selma who in everybody's face and saying they want the city to move forward. If you go in that store, you just as guilty as them.
Correct.
Of they saying that they don't need you people's money. You know what that means, you people's.
You know
that's
what I mean.
30, 40, 50, 60. When white folks get mad, we you people. That means you different. You know what I'm saying?
We know it. Yeah.
It's the almighty white dollar.
Right.
Okay. So anybody who done ran for any type of seat, who want the city to move forward, that right there should be enough for you not to support that store.
100%. And I know some people may Tristan said gang of thugs. You know what? I can't even be mad at that because that's what they do to our people when we do certain things. Gang of thugs. And I know it may be shocking that we have this opinion and this stance. Being the grandsons of Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese, because the movement was nonviolent. But at the same time, in like everything else in the world, it evolves. So you take a stance, and that was needed then, because the powers that may be were totally different.
They had to, bro.
They had to.
MJ, they had to.
Right.
So they had to, and you know what? I don't play Monday quarterback with them. Now, what I asked for them not to play Monday morning quarterback with us. Y'all submitted, and they had to move like they move so we can stand tall.
Correct.
We should not be accepting the same thing in the same treatment that they accepted in 1960s, 50s, and 40s.
Right. Basically, what we were saying on the panel, we don't, our generation don't judge you all for taking that stance. But at the same time, it's the law of reciprocity.
That's right.
So if we are saying it was needed, then trust us, because you got to pass the torch.
Watch us work.
Yeah, because what were the students in the movement? They in their upper 70s, majority of them now. So you got to pass the torch, and you got to trust us to take what you did and move it along. And Montgomery, Alabama, was a prime example.
That's right.
Of how you do things and be strategic, because Granddad and Martin Luther King, they were strategic in another way back then. But see, what Montgomery showed you is we can still be strategic. You can catch these hands, we can hurt your pocket and hurt your social media presence. That's what's gonna hurt you more today.
That's right. But guess what? I still agree with them on the nonviolent approach toward democracy.
Yes.
You cannot be a people to think that we're gonna go and overthrow the government.
Cannot.
Now I agree with that. That's why I say it's twofold.
Right.
But these cats in these streets that think they can just walk up and do anything to us. No, sir, you misunderstood.
Correct.
Or you just don't understand. It's just a different time.
Right.
But in democracy, we have to teach our people the how democracy works. Because see, I think even during that time in 1965, we were so concentrated on trying to get into and get into the system of voting that we didn't continue to teach democracy.
Right.
We just began to take our politicians' word for it. Black people, the majority of black people does not know how democracy in the system work, bro. Correct. They don't know how it works.
Correct.
They don't know how policy is passed. They don't know how they get things done because we have been lackluster. We have been lazy in our generation in teaching it, bro. You get what I'm saying? Because we trust people too much. So it's time for, just as they were teaching, having the mass meetings at the churches and the places, and they was teaching people how to take the voting rights test and how to get into this. We got to pick our our blessing insurance, get off our blessing insurance, and teach the people democracy in our churches, in our whatever we got going on.
Yeah,
how it works.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because when it comes to democracy, we have to be more strategic. So more of the nonviolent work. So if those same black people got off that boat and wanted to march to the Capitol in Montgomery, right? It would have to look different. It would have to be a nonviolent more method. Even if someone got in your face, you had to understand what time it was. If a police officer or whatever got in your face once you got to the Capitol, as long as it didn't get violent, you have to understand we have to keep our hands to ourselves at that moment, because we have to understand that it's a bigger objective at that point.
That's right.
But on a situation like what happened in Montgomery, catch chairs and hands, because we got to show you it ain't the same now how it used to be.
And if any white person disagree with that, something wrong with you.
Yes, Miss Beverly said, I would, but I can never find them on this site. I think she's talking about the mini. She said she can never find the I guess the mini mart on this site. I guess she would do a review. We know Miss Beverly. I know she ain't standing for that. We already know what time it is. Anastasia said agreed. Eddie said, I believe that Trump pumped them up on Friday night. Trump pumped them up on Friday.
Hey,
he probably did. They probably listened. Probably was. Amanda said they have meetings. We are just too lazy to go. You won't change. You have to be the change. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. 100%. They'll have them meetings, but we just won't go. We won't show up, because we look at that as, oh, well, if it don't, quote unquote, initially directly affect me, then I won't take the time out of my schedule to go up there. But, you know,
it goes back to, man, like when we was talking to the foot soldiers, the gap in what blacks want is too far apart. The 80 to 50 mindset is different than the 40 and on down.
Correct.
But the 45, let's just say 50 and above, they still have the stronghold over the outlook of what the black community wants, which they agree. Right. They agree with me.
They agree.
So what has to happen is we got to come together and have a conversation.
Correct.
Because a person that's 40 and down would say the vote don't matter. They talk about the vote don't matter. The vote doesn't matter because the things that they want, like police reform, black crime bill, those things are what is big to the 40 and under.
Correct.
But since the 50 and above still have the stronghold, now the younger feel like they just disconnected.
They don't have a voice.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we have to merge and have a conversation with each other and say, look, you get some of what you want and you fight and get some of what we want. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think just because they older that we shouldn't listen to them.
Of course not. Right.
No, they still should get the things that's important to them.
Right.
Important to them is Social Security,
medicine. Right.
Okay. Those things are real. Those things they care about. The union and all that.
Right.
Some black folks say, I ain't working for nobody for 30 years. I'm not worried about Social Security. I'm not saying they really need to worry about Social Security.
Right.
But,
I get you saying.
But what I'm saying is more the black crime bill, the police reform, those things are more important to their age group. You know, but they don't have the voice right now. They don't have the leadership in the city, in the house to get those things done. And that's why they feel like the voice that they are mute. You know what I'm saying? That their voice don't matter. So we got to have that real conversation in MJ.
That's 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And they agree, and I appreciate the foot soldiers really agreeing to that, because they was like, wow, we didn't think about that.
Right.
I said, yeah. You know, and I really enjoyed that conversation, man. I really did.
Yeah. It's a great conversation, and I think it was needed. Amanda said we got to show up for each other.
That's right.
And she said God called the old because they were wise. 100%. He called the upping because we are strong. Oh, 100%. 100%. Now, John said they getting 20 years or more. I don't know about that.
No, that missed me. They don't deserve no long time. They got a behind whoop.
Yeah.
They'll never do that again. Guaranteed.
Yeah, they'll never do that again.
They'll never do that again, MJ. That right there. They
But
learned
what-
from that.
But what Amanda said, you're 100% right, and that's some of the things that we were kind of elaborating on at the panel, and we seen that we needed. One thing I also said at the panel and to a couple of people there, I think when it comes to, because they asked, well, why the young people really don't care, not care about the vote. That's one thing, but then they don't really care about what people had to go through to get the vote. A lot of the times that's overlooked. And I said, well, I think we have to tell the story a little different. We have to rebrand it. We have to meet people where they are, like Aika said. A lot of the times we got to meet people where they are. Sitting young people down, showing them a black and white movie all the time is not going to get them fired up. We have to have certain discussions instead of always going through the front door with the same tactic for 20, 30 years. Let's try to go through the window. Let's try to meet them where. Let's try to have discussions that they can relate to, that lead up to teaching them about voting and what happened then and what can we do to move forward. So I think that's one thing that we got to kind of change. We got to stop thinking that showing them a black and white video of Bloody Sunday is just going to get them there, keep them interested, because we're not teaching it in the schools. And then one thing I got to say is, what Selma got to do a better job is, there should not be a student in Selma that don't know about what Selma contributed to the voting rights movement. I don't care what we got to do. If every Friday a kid got to go on a field trip and go talk to anybody in Selma, and they tell the truth and tell what happened, that's what needs to happen. You'll be shocked by so many kids don't know the history in Selma, in the town they live in. So that's a couple of things we got to change. Amanda said, I think the young aren't directly educated on how voting affects them, how not making a decision is actually making a decision that will affect their future. 100% right. Yeah, 100% right.
I agree.
We got to change. Yeah, 100%. We have to change that. Because we're not teaching it. See, we you know how when we were talking about, when we was on the I don't care who said, we was on a certain Zoom call, and my opinion was, it's certain things that need to be mentioned and it's certain things that need to be highlighted. It's a total different thing. Something that's mentioned is something that you read, it's a fact, is mentioned. Something that's highlighted is something that you put emphasis on, right? And I think because we are mentioning to the young kids, well, your vote is your voice. We have these slogans. Your vote is your voice. Vote or die. We got that, right? But then we want to highlight so much of how the people had to fight to get the vote. And I think if we start bringing in more of the conversation, why this vote is important, how can it affect you? Show them statistics, show them facts. Then I think that can be a way of moving forward. Go ahead.
But you gotta understand this, MJ, is the younger generation. Their understanding of voting is not the same as the older generation who fought to get the vote.
100%.
The people who fought to get the vote, they have a more of emotional, and it's like, man, we got the vote. But our generation, we know what it took. Mm-hmm. But people in our generation, they think strictly policy.
Right.
It's no emotion with it. Mm-hmm. It's strictly policy. Mm-hmm. What policy is best for me? You know, and then I don't think Black people as a whole can only vote for only what's best for you policy-wise. I think we have to vote as a community properly. I don't think we get anything done just saying, I'm just going to vote my own interests. We're not strong enough, and it's not, voting is about numbers, MJ, at the end of the day.
Right.
It's about numbers.
So we have to tip the scale. So we got to vote.
How do we tip the scale? Right. That's why I said the older generation, we have to make amends and come together on what is the outlook on what Black people as a whole want. The older generation gets some of what they want. The younger generation gets some of what they want. We teach each other that for generations, and we learn to vote corporately. That's the only way we're gonna see any type of change in our community, sustainable change in our community. And then the people who we vote in, they got to stop punking out.
100%.
They really do, man. I'm being honest with you. They got to stop punking out, and they got to stop sitting these seats too long.
Yeah, they too old.
These seats till they die. They get old. They get fragile. They not relating to the younger people. This and that, and it's all about their legacy. At the end of the day, sometimes sit your behind down somewhere. Yeah. Learn to teach somebody else, and learn to be a mentor, and step aside and let these other folks take it and be in an emeritus position. Mm-hmm. One thing about we as Black people, we tend to do that. Mm-hmm. We tend to sit in seats too long. Too doggone long.
Be 85.
Sit in the seat. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's needed to get things back on track.
Correct. Sometimes you are not. You're not in the seat to make change. You're in the seat for the further to set up the next person. Right.
You messed it up so bad. You need somebody with wisdom to get in there.
Just sit in there, my dog.
But we wouldn't have to do that if the older generation, they got to wait and be more of an assistant to the young generation. Say, look, this is how things roll. And then the young people got to be willing to accept that criticism.
Correct.
They got to be willing to be able to win a seat and then look to a mayor or a senator that was there before them for direction and take constructive criticism. We fall from that too, because a lot of young folks think they know it all, and you don't. And you don't want to listen to the older generation who can help lead us in a better place. You think just because you won, oh, okay, I know it all, I'm going to do it my way, you did it your way. That's some of the stupidest things you can say. Everyone needs a mentor. And when we had Sister LaVon on here, Pastor Dunn told me one thing that I hold on tight to. He said, when you go to next levels, a lot of times you got to be fathered into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes when these young folks win these seats, they got to be fathered.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, bro? That's just real talk.
Yeah. And you got to, like you said, you got to be coachable. You know, you young people got to be coachable when you get in these seats. A lot of times we get the big head, stick our chests out, and you know how that goes. Amanda said, yeah, 100% not teaching in a relatable way. I was just saying to Amanda, she said, I agree, corporate voting. Rose, hey, what's going on, Ms. Rose? She said, teamwork, make the dream work. 100%. And John said, you see an example in the White House. Go ahead, Rose.
With the voting rights movement, they understood that. Remember, a lot of people remember this, R&B Hudson High School. That was the segregated high school. The teachers' march was playing there. The students was marching from R&B Hudson. Black folks understood, look, we're going to get the top of the food chain all the way down to these kids, and we're going to work. Mm-hmm. And everybody in the middle work, bro. Right. Everybody from 60 years, 70 years old, all the way down to 14 years old, 13, 10. They were
middle school
for one common cause.
That's right.
But in today's time, you don't see that. Mm-hmm. And we got to get back to that.
Right.
That's why the movement was successful, because everybody understood the objective, MJ.
Right. And let's keep it 1,000, because we know the entails of it. They didn't agree on everything behind closed doors.
That's right.
They did not.
You never do.
But when they got out in the front,
that's right.
When them doors swung open,
they stood tall.
Unified.
This is what we have disagreed. This is what we have disagreed and agreed upon.
Yeah, right.
We disagreed to get to this agreement.
Right.
And they went with it, bro.
And you have to understand, because you already know how we are. Black folks, we ain't changed too much. You already know it was some people that was marching in those marches that didn't want to do it.
They didn't want to do it.
And then they mind, they like, man, it's some bud. But but guess what they were doing? They were marching.
They were marching because,
you know what I'm saying?
They understood corporate what standing together would do, MJ. You know what I'm saying? Tristan said we have to divorce the Democratic Party and realize corporate voting means us as Black people. That's true.
100%, Trey.
It's time to, I would say it's time to reevaluate that. Mm-hmm. And if people understood why Black people vote Democrat, it's not only that they vote Democrat because of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, but the South had laws in place that made black people vote Democrat, bro.
That's right.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Go and study J.L. Chestnut. He'll tell you about it.
Right.
They
had laws in
place that black people had to vote Democrat, bro.
Correct.
That's crazy.
That's correct.
It's correct, but see, man. This how Democrat play us. They know the old generation, what they do. They keep Medicaid. Democrat, they're gonna fight for that Medicaid. You know, the food stamps. They're gonna fight for those things, but they're not gonna fight for a black crime bill.
No.
So then that still keeps us that age gap. They playing monkey in the middle. Yeah, we know the 40 and the youngest ain't gonna agree this, but long as we keep the 50 and above, we straight.
Yeah, because they want to keep the 50 and above with the Medicaid and all of that, and
giving the HBCUs money. Yeah.
Yes. I was just about to say that, bro. I was just about to say
that. Education, that's good, but don't do nothing for the trades for the young black folks.
Right.
You get what I'm saying, MJ?
Right.
And see the for young black men who probably don't have the knowledge to learn as far as book sense, they can work with their hands. They don't invest in them.
Well, you got to understand, because then that tilts the scale on monetarily. So now the black wealth will come up more, because you got to understand those trades are the one that pays more without the college education.
Come out of high school making 150, 160.
Right.
Yeah.
So they want you to go to college to get in debt,
to build that debt
instead of taking a trade on, and you can be able to support your family with more of something that you can do. So 100%, man, you already know it's done by design. But I ask you, so at the end of the day, do you agree with the people in Montgomery?
Oh, I 110% agree with them. And if it happened again, they need to do it again. And if it happened again, do it again. Black folks in today's time do not need to take racist white folks coming up to them and hitting them and doing what they feel like they can do. Come have a conversation with me. I am not 3/4 of a human being. I am not a child. I am not a dog. I'm not subpar human. I am an American citizen in the United States of America, and you treat me such as. And if you don't, it's on and popping.
And I agree with you. And a lot of and Ms. Rose said, yes, sir. And honestly, I hear when people say, I think especially us younger people, we have to change the narrative. Now, I've never said this, but when people say, I'm not my grandfather or I'm not my grandmother,
it's the stupidest thing.
What they have to do, because Montgomery showed you, we are not our grandfather, grandmother, but you have to put something behind that. I'm not my grandfather. I'm an adjusted version. I'm an evolved version or something of that. Because when you say things like that, you make it seem like the generations before us were weak because they took the nonviolent method.
Hey, I'm my grandfather 2.0.
Right.
Simple as that. I am my ancestors.
Right.
I come from them.
Right.
So they did what they did. I need to stand tall, bro.
Right.
I need they sacrificed their life for me to sit here in this day. No, the word always talk about in this day.
Right.
But in this day, for me to stand tall. Because now my ancestors looking at us like, that's what I'm talking about. We took the sacrifice for you to do that. Y'all stand on our backs. They backs humped over for us to stand up.
Correct. Because if they didn't do that, let's say the laws were still the same in the 60s when this Montgomery Brawl happened. That Montgomery Brawl would have went a totally different way.
That's right.
You already know what time it is.
Right.
So you're 100%. I'm my grandfather 2.0, or I'm my grandmother 2.0. It's great because it shows that I'm taking what they did and we running with it. She said, I disagree. We are our grandfathers, and if we keep it 100, they are more decisive and cohesive as a people. They are more decisive and cohesive as a people. 100%.
What she said, she disagreed with our grandparents.
When I said, she said she disagrees with them saying I'm not my grand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, bro. Our ancestors, I don't argue. The ones who jumped ship and drowned and the ones who stayed alive. I don't have the right to speak on neither one of them.
Correct.
The audacity and the arrogance of me to speak on that And all these cats who say they not their ancestors, y'all won't even stand up to your own supervisors at work.
Right.
All them who say they gonna jump ship, well, go to work and jump ship.
Jump ship.
Do it. Know what you do, because you know you got a family. You're gonna take some things until you level up. We are the level up.
Right.
That's what we got. We are the level up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They took things so we can level up. So it's just simple as that, man. I'm tired of people saying that. When you say that, you misunderstand our history.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
That cuz. That thought.
Uh-huh.
What's up, cuz? It brought black people together, protect one another. 100%.
Right. Black folks on cold, boy.
And let's keep it 1,000. We already know Thought is back in his day. If he was at that Montgomery Brawl,
he had them hands.
Over with. It's over with. It's over with.
You know what I'm saying?
And Barack, they love bringing out Barack to say vote.
I wish, Barack Obama, I really wish he would use his power. Barack Obama is the most powerfulest black man in America. I think hands down, he's the most powerful black man in America. Mm-hmm. I wish he would use that power to do what we're talking about, really educating us on policy and how to vote. Barack Obama can't be president anymore. And it would do him justice to say, you know what? I don't have a dog in the fight, Democrat or Republican. My dog in the fight is to see black people in America move forward
100%.
Together.
100%.
And it's time for that, bro. It's time for that. Let's stop preaching party. Right. Let's teach policy.
Right.
Stop teaching party and teach policy. Simple as that. If we keep teaching party, we're not going to get any policy sign that's going to be truly benefited for black people in America. And I say black people is because black people has not been given what is owed to them. Mm-hmm. We are not immigrants. We are imports and goods. Mm-hmm. Okay? Treat us such as. So you don't pass laws to help black people and say we help immigrants. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think you should pass laws to say black people with minorities. It needs to be some things done in America specifically. I gotta say, because I say that wrong. Specifically.
Right.
Black people.
Right.
And it's okay for us who come from the families or the other leaders of the past communities to say that.
Right.
I don't think white people should cringe. I don't think Hispanics should cringe. I don't think Asian Americans should cringe when we say America owed black people, when America was built off cotton and black folks gave America 200 and plus years of free labor of cotton to build America wealth that it has today. And these are facts. Mm-hmm. So I don't care about any policy. It should be Republicans and Democrats signing any policy that's going to move black people up corporately, MJ.
100%, man. We have to be selfish. This is the time for black people to be selfish. What about us? Tristan said they don't talk about the violent black people in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. They just don't discuss them. 100%. Every town had that one black man no one messed with. 100%. Miss Rose Martin, I want to thank you guys for standing as your grandfather told us to stand, because we are not standing alone. Our Father God Almighty is with us. Let's stand together. 100%.
Hey, FD said something that he said. He tell young people, you cannot. What's the quote? Man, I got it in my phone.
When he said rest on your loins.
He said you cannot. I got it on my phone. I'm gonna share this one.
Yeah,
I got to share this quote that he said, man, because it's very important.
100%, man. I started to write a song. I'm not done with it, but a lot of the times they it's perpetuated. It's black and white, black against white, black against white. And when you said policy, that's where I was going with the song. It's not about black and white. It's about what's in black and white.
That's right.
It's about what's on that paper. And they try to hit us with the emotion so much that That's what they want us to do. They hit us with the emotions so much. Did you find it, bro?
Yeah, it says, I tell young people today that they cannot rest on our victories. You get what I'm saying? On their victories. We can't rest on that. We got to build on that, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said we have to remain committed. Come on, MJ.
Mm-hmm.
We got to remain committed. We got to keep moving forward.
That's basically you're 100%. What Granddad said, that's profound. He basically saying our generation can't rest on their victory.
We can't. We got to build on it.
Right.
We can't sit there and say, oh, they did it.
They did it.
Then we can't do it like they did it.
Right.
Everything else changing around us, technology, everything, but we supposed to approach how we want policy and how we want to be treated the same. Exactly. Are you serious? Where they do that at?
I don't know. Yeah, cuz I don't call him that's our cousin. We call him Thaddeus. That's his nickname. But so yeah, cuz we're not fighting no more. We still fighting for equality in 2023, 100%.
Right.
100%, man. 100%. Anastasia said, now is the time for selfishness. Stop trying to be inclusive of others because they don't include us, period. Mm-hmm. We fought for others long enough. 100%.
They should be fighting for us, MJ.
Mm-hmm.
They should be fighting for us.
Miss Annette Walker. Oh, Miss Annette, how you doing? Not Waller. He used his power. Black people as a whole needed to be educated. You are more educated on these topics. Party participation must. No one group who leaves the party. We cannot win a national, state, and local elections. We must collaborate with other groups who support our views and work as one. This would create political power and win.
And that's the thing. Mm-hmm. See, a lot of the other groups come over here and they act like they are part of they want black people to benefit.
Right.
Then they go behind our backs,
mm-hmm.
and then they forget and they get their own agenda.
They won't. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They do that all the time.
The Asian crime bill. We can look at a lot of the LGBTQ things that has been passed, and
that's right.
And even reparations have been given to Indians. I mean, we can go down the line, bro, and they continuously look over the people that built America. That built America, man. So we have to be selfish. This is the season. I think we have enough information and enough fight to understand and to be strategic and tactical. We have to be selfish. Mm-hmm. If you ain't talking about black, I don't want to hear about, I'm keeping it me that you can get on me for this. I don't want to hear about what you're going to do for minorities. I don't want to hear minorities. I don't want to hear about Hispanics. I don't want to hear about Asians. I don't want to hear, what are you going to do specifically for black people? Mm-hmm. That's what we talk about. Show me in black and white what
and if you have a problem with black people saying that, I by God, go read your American history.
Yeah, please.
Simple as that, man.
Please.
Go read your American history. If you think about it, black people fought to get what was rightfully ours in America. Mm-hmm. When you have immigrants, they come over from a country that they said was not good enough for them to come to great America.
Come on, man.
And then come here and say it's so bad. Then attach yourself to the black struggle and then turn around and stab us in our back. Bro.
Okay, Ms. Wallace said we must just do this. We cannot win alone. I am from Selma. Your grandfather was my homeroom teacher. We have to be a part. Now, when you say we can't win alone, 100%, because bro said it's about numbers.
It's all about numbers.
It's all about numbers.
Mm-hmm.
In this season, when I say we have to be selfish, when we go put our vote in, it has to be about black people. Has to be about. Sister Levon, thank you guys for your honest discourse. Never stop giving your authentic self. No one can ever be MJ and Allen. Bishop Don is in heaven championing you guys. Love you much. You know we love you too. Yeah, it 100% right. Pastor Sister Levon. We have to be our authentic self. That's the only way our grandfather would have wanted it. That's the only way Bishop Don Thomas would have wanted it, just to keep it 1,000. But like I was telling Ms. Waller, we cannot win alone because of the numbers, right?
Right.
But I think by us trying to be inclusive so much, and ain't no forgiving people like Black people, man. I think at times that has hurt us. That we have let everyone else join in to our fight and benefit off of it. So all minorities, they group us with minorities. But then, like you said, when it's time for them to stick together, we see they stick together, bro. Now it's our season as Black people to say, you know what? I want you to have your rights. Hispanics, Middle Easterns, Asians. But for right now, we got to get ours.
That's right.
Because everybody else getting their slice.
That's right. And we got to come together and say what we want.
Yes.
We're going to stand on it.
That's
right. Know, our granddad used to say this. I wasn't just concentrating on how by getting the vote, what you going to do with the vote. See, our generation understand this. We're going to leverage this vote. See, their generation got the vote. They did their part. They got beat, killed, they struggled, they were submissive, they did everything they needed to do for Black people to move forward in America. And one of the things were to be a part of the political system. Okay. We can fuss about segregation and all that. It's the pros and cons and all of it.
Right.
Like get into all that.
Right.
But what I'm saying now, it's time for our generation to say, okay, they got the vote. Now we're going to leverage the vote and really move us forward. It's like the generation of Moses and Joshua. Moses now had to say, let the people go be more submissive. They couldn't fight Pharaoh.
Right.
But once that generation died off, Joshua then went and took the land of milk.
That thing.
They weren't saying, can I have it? No, they went and took it.
The
mindset changed, bro. Same body of people.
Both
same bloodline. Both mindsets was needed for the better good of God's people.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? And all we saying now, FD now, we will consider them the Moses generations. They had to be those people to act the way they act. Now we Joshua generation.
We gotta be Joshua, dog.
Now how we gonna leverage this vote? What we gonna do to stand tall? We not gonna take what they took.
And I think I gotta before I respond to that, Ms. Waller, I agree with you, but only 15% of the population. 100% right, Ms. Waller. We can be ourselves, but be the forerunner. You are correct. We don't stick together. 100% agree with that, Ms. Waller. 100% agree with that. What you did when we voted, I think that was a local election when we had voted for. When you wrote in there, Black crime bill.
I got friends who judges in DeKalb County didn't get my vote. I wrote in Black crime bill. Black crime bill. You get what I'm saying? If the Asians can get an Asian crime bill, why can Blacks get a Black hate crime bill? Everyone can exercise the civil rights crime bill. Every citizen can get that. Why is it that only Black people can exercise the civil rights crime bill? Asian Americans can exercise the civil rights crime bill. Even white Americans can exercise the civil rights crime bill. Everyone.
Right.
But then they went and gave Asian Americans their own hate crime bill.
Hate crime, right.
All the things that you didn't see Black people go through in America.
Right.
Why doesn't Black people have a Black hate crime bill?
Right.
See, that's the thing what I'm talking about. So now we got to leverage our vote. The people we know that been in office that ain't putting that on the table, not voting, we're going to vote you out. Or we're going to throw a warning shot. We're going to vote for a person we know that's not going to win, but we're going to give them enough votes to scare you.
Yeah. And when you say leverage, it's so many different things we can do. You're attacked with writing the Black crime bill. See, it's showing. I'm going to still go vote because my granddad and them fought and bled and died for this, right? But the leverage part is I'm going to show you how powerful my vote is. If enough of us went up there and did something like that, we went up there and wrote Black crime bill, we didn't vote for you or whatever the case is, then it'll get their attention.
Said,
because all they're doing is pimping the vote.
That's right. They're going to say, hold on,
wait a minute.
Work. I need to do some work.
We got to take this serious.
I just can't go out there and do a barbecue and that's it. I got to go do some work.
Come on, bro.
We ain't the generation that you told me, yeah, we gonna eat them hot dogs, man. I ain't voting for them. I'm gonna vote for this first. Hey, I'm saying we got to leverage our leverage. Yeah. Everything about is leverage. Business is leveraging.
Right.
Leveraging the best deal. We as Black people got to come together and say, this is what we want, and we willing to do anything to leverage our decision, leverage our vote, because then use the old said, because we shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We're going to leverage the thing because we shall overcome. Tristan said Asian and Latinos never say people of color. You're 100% right.
That's right.
You never say it.
Never.
Because everybody got it, but Black that doesn't get 100% right. Everybody got that, but the Black folks don't have it. Come on, man. That's crazy. Mrs. Waller, I agree. What can your generation get your generation to leverage our vote? Amanda, by any means necessary, 100%. That's that Malcolm X there, by any means necessary. And
you merge them. By any means necessary, we shall
overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome by any means necessary. Don't both of them sound good together.
Yeah, you say them right behind each other, bro.
Either way you slice, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man. 100% right. But I think that's one of the things we need to do. That's a good thing to do. This is the season where we're leveraging our vote until somebody do something. So because do you understand how many millions and millions of dollars that they put into to get the Black vote?
Boy,
you understand it. And then 90-something% of the women, Black women vote.
All we need is the women to get.
We just need the women.
You get the Black woman mad. Hey, the Democrats is in trouble.
Over with.
They in trouble. The Black woman can single-handedly destroy the Democratic Party tomorrow if they wanted to. If the Black woman said tomorrow we want a Black hate crime bill, or we're not voting right now, the Black woman is right now the leader of all. I'm talking about all of them.
Yeah, all.
They said it right now.
Right.
We gonna pull our dollar in our vote from the Democratic Party. They got to buy down, MJ.
100%.
And that's guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
They just woke up.
Right.
We don't need nobody else.
Yeah, we don't.
And we just need 7% of them. Maybe just 6. 60% of Black women right now saying we're not voting for the Democratic Party unless they give us a Black hate crime bill. Man, right now, do you know what that would do to America?
Boy,
the Black women got the power when it comes to the voting, bro.
Boy, it tipped that scale. But you know, Black women got just Black women have the power across the board.
Across the board.
But they don't. The problem is they don't want the Black woman to know that. So they perpetuate certain stereotypes and images. And a lot of the images they are perpetuating aren't the majority. Mm-hmm. So they perpetuate an image so the Black woman can stay down and think less of herself. But the Black woman is the greatest.
She is the most powerful. The most powerful force in the Democratic Party right now. It's not the white man. It's not the white woman. It is the Black woman.
Correct.
The most powerful force in the Democratic Party right now. All we need her to do corporately is to get mad.
Yeah.
He said we tired. Yeah. Watch that thing change, bro.
Yeah. Man said we're mad at the wrong people.
Yeah.
100%. Ms. Waller, we need to find out how to get the Black men to vote like we Black women vote. 100%. 100%. 100%. We really do.
I think Black men and Black women need to have a conversation, because I think Black men are tired of the Democratic Party taking advantage of the Black community.
Right.
They divide and conquer us. They divide our homes and conquer.
Mm-hmm.
Divide and conquer. So
because they always go, think about it, they always go after the emotion of the Black woman.
Yeah, I think
you know what I'm saying?
I
hate that. Because they feel like, we'll bring it up. I know we're going over this another discussion. They feel like if they go in and they talk to a Black woman, your Cardi B's and your Megan Thee Stallion, and they say they got hot sauce in their bag, or they show up at these concerts where these Black women are performing, then they feel like that the Black woman is gonna vote for them. But you're 100% right. If the Black woman say, you know what, we need to get something for our people, then 100%. I think the mindset changing, except Alabama, where it's against the law to teach Black history in school. Yeah.
We got the dumbest. Florida, man, that's ridiculous.
Man, it's good God. They told us to hate each other and got caught up in the semantics. Now they're making laws behind our back while we're arguing about whose fault it is.
That's why I said we just need to have a conversation. Forget, I ain't blaming nobody.
Right.
I want the Black woman to know how much power she got.
Right.
But what I would say this: think about how they talk about the police department, how bad this and that. You know, they got to change the racism in the police department. Do you know the highest areas that you have more police brutality against Blacks is in the democratic areas? Really? Run by Black folks, Black mayors, and Black police chiefs.
Wow.
Think about it, bro. Think about Atlanta, Detroit. Think about the cities, Miami. Think about it. Is it truly changing, man?
Right, but you know that's done by design.
It's done by design, man.
They want us to keep at each other's necks. So it's gonna keep going. Miss Waller, I'm so proud of you keeping my teacher, Reverend Reese, dreams alive. We appreciate that. We appreciate a lot of people been giving us kudos and I have to say it doesn't go unnoticed. We really appreciate it. We had a big conversation with a guy at the panel about a movie about our grandfather. And did you tell mom and dad? He said,
Mr. Jackson.
Yeah. Mr. Mark Jackson. Yeah. So we really appreciate that and all the kudos and all the motivation, because it really does help. Yeah.
It comes to a point we could talk about everything our grandfather did, but if it didn't affect us and make us want to get off our blessed insurance and do things and be in our community and talk about what need to change, is what he did really important. If it don't hit the family, right, and make the family want to change, see it continue, right? Come on, what is it? Right. You know what I'm saying? So we have to we appreciate it, and we're gonna keep going.
Right. Keep going, man. No. We're gonna keep it going, man. We're gonna keep it going. We appreciate everybody joining. Anastasia said facts. I apologize for the language she felt that way. It's all good. We appreciate y'all joining us and really discussing this, and we understand. And my final thought is, I 100% agree with Montgomery Brawl. If anybody feel like I shouldn't take that stance, let that rest on your spirit, and you're gonna have to deal with that. You have to deal with that. I like how they handled it.
I mean, I love the way they handled it.
Like how they handled that.
They whooped behind and they didn't loot anything. Right. Stop the place, the business was continue. They continue to serve what they were serving, this and that. And the police arrested everybody and cleared way. You don't have to worry about no gunshots. See, they always talk about us, gunshots. No. Them Black folks took care of business. Yeah. And they left it there. And that's how we do.
And for my people in Selma, I want to leave this. I want to remember this comment at the top.
I made it a profile picture.
When y'all want to visit the Vassar's Mini Mart, he said, "I don't need you people's money. I prefer the superior white dollars." So, want y'all to understand that now. Want y'all to keep that in, because a lot of the times we get bamboozled. That's certain people are smiling in our face and shake our hand, and the whole time was that song Backstabbers, OJ.
Backstabbers, yeah, OJ. Ooh, that's a good classic right there.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So but I gotta give props to my people in Selma. They haven't looted the mini mart.
Don't do it.
Don't loot it. Starve them out. Their reviews have went all the way down from 5-star to 1-star. So that's how we do it. That's how we need to do it.
That's right.
Right, man. Right. 100%.
I ain't been proud of my people in a while. That's right.
100%.
In the deep South. If it can happen in the deep South, it can happen in the deep South. If it can happen in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
What's the name with that song? talking about a small town. Where he at?
Tried it. Yeah, where he at? Tried in a small town.
Tried in a small town. Okay.
We did that.
Where he at? Y'all gonna leave black folks alone, man. You know,
we did that.
Our ancestors 2.0. Right. Hey, we know what they thought, what they thought in their mind.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to the young man. I think he's 15, 16, the swimmer.
Yeah, he's 16 years old. So like
they sent him cash apps and Zelles. I think he got thousands of dollars now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to it, my young boy. Go buy your PlayStation. Go.
He said that boat wasn't docking fast enough.
It wasn't docking. They had the Avengers out there, Aquaman out there. Hey,
man, I think I saw a couple of Qs out there. I saw the older cats.
Yeah.
Older cats, young cats fighting together, man, for one cause. Because you disrespected one of us.
Right.
And that's how we should be.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. People, 100%. this, and what happens is this, MJ. People go home, and when you held accountable like that, you don't need policy to change you. You changed.
Yeah, that's it.
They changed. And it's a couple of people who was watching and said, you know what? I'm gonna leave these folks alone. You know how many Karens got saved yesterday and changed their heart, and they not Karens no more. Behind what happened yesterday. Behind what happened in Montgomery.
Even if they are Karens behind closed doors, they sure ain't finna be Karens in public.
You know how many people who want to use the N-word and go slap a black man for no reason, or a black woman, a white person. I've been seeing a lot of white folks disrespect black women trying to fight them. They gonna think again now, bro.
Again, bro.
It is needed. This is the American way.
That's right.
This ain't the black. This is American. I like to say the American
way. Hey, before we go, I saw this shirt. I got to get this shirt, and I know it says, you see it say "Have a Seat 1955." You see Rosa Parks right there in Montgomery, right? Then down there it say "Have a Seat 2023." He giving her that seat, boy.
That's right.
Oh man, that's great.
Oh man, yeah. You know, that was a day that we didn't hear. We was killing each other. I like what Miss Rose Martin just said: "Us against them, not us against us." 100%. So many times we hear about black people hurting each other, man. Right. That right there, man. I think when I start, I'm gonna implement this when I'm talking to young folks, especially our young people, man. Look, this shows you that when we come together, we protect each other, MJ. That's a teaching point. Think about what we can do if we stop killing each other.
Right.
Come on, man. Think about what we can do.
And I think this Montgomery Brawl is gonna be a significant teaching point. I don't think people realize how. I understand some people may disagree with that method, right? But I don't think people understand how important everything that happened that day was, because it showed we can stick together. We ain't hoodlums. We out there protecting each other. We gonna hit their dollar. We gonna expose them, and 3-4 generations can stick together and be about the same cause, man.
That's right.
And then not only that, the support that our people are giving those people, the outpouring support, the young man getting cash apps, and I think somebody said they're gonna pay for a semester of his college. See, that's what I'm talking about. When we stick together, and then that'll show. And Miss Rose said that's what I got from this incident. It'll show, man, and I think this is gonna be a teaching point. I don't think them people in Montgomery know they finna be a part of history.
That's right.
Because of where it happened, and everybody that was involved.
That was a slave trade, doc, man.
Right. It was exactly.
When you talking about our ancestors, we are.
We are. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, look, man, it was needed. Most definitely needed, MJ. At that time, just let you know, okay, even let's take the fighting away. All we need is space and opportunity to even hear each other out. Just say we weren't fighting, but the age gap in those fighting. Right. I'm looking at, think about if we can have that same thing and be around each other, and have space and opportunity to talk about what we want, what's important in the community, what we want to be changed.
I agree with your comments about the Montgomery Brawl. Let's keep this out there as a teaching point.
Right.
100%. It's a great teaching point. It's an evolution of a teaching point to show how we can handle things. So you can bring it from all the way from Granddaddy to George Floyd to the Montgomery Brawl, man. You can bring it all the way around, man.
We ain't tell nothing. I want Fox News to put that in their news, man.
Right.
First, I need the national news, not just social media. I need the national news to show that black folks stuck together. They fought. It wasn't a gunshot. It wasn't no graffiti. No, did none get tore up. The white folks who own the business in Selma, they building still standing. We just gonna starve them out.
Right.
MJ, that's big.
That big.
Because when we go loot stuff, it hits the world.
CNN, all that.
You know what I'm saying? It's the world topic. So I need for that to hit the news too.
Yeah, 100%.
And I need all of them to have a proclamation. Matter of fact, the foundation needs to send them a proclamation. Resolution.
Proclamation. Resolution on this day. Therefore, on this. Hey, look, we appreciate y'all joining us, man. Staying with us over time.
I know, right?
Taking to your hearts everything. We're gonna keep y'all. Ms. Rosemar said the ancestors spoke 100%. We'll leave on that note. Keep everything in your hearts. We'll keep y'all updated on the library tours.
There you go.
We're gonna be at a library near you. We want everybody to come out and come and learn this history, and we'll answer any questions that people may have. So, we got to leave with one of my favorite quote from Granddaddy: "After every night, there comes a day. I haven't seen it fail yet." And so y'all take care of yourself. Have a great weekend, and we will see y'all next week.